Hey, hello! Luke's gonna tell us some wetlands facts.
I am. So, here we go. There are 4 kinds of wetlands. A marsh is defined by herbaceous foliage. A swamp is defined by, it's trees, right? It's forested.
Yeah.
And then there's mires. There's 2 kinds of mires. There are bogs, which are, give me a moment, acidic. And then there's fens, which are either mildly acidic, neutral, or alkaline.
Okay.
Swamp facts.
So, wetlands. Because I thought it was mostly about the water, but the fact that it's about, the kinds of trees and things is really interesting. Hi!
What's a mire?
What is a mire?
Mires are all about peat. Here we go. Okay.
What makes something a mire, Luke? You've got to tell us now.
Okay, so a mire is dominated by living peat-forming plants. And so I imagine that is marshes and swamps don't have peat-forming plants, they have other kinds of plants and are then distinguished further based on what kind of plants they have. If there's peat, it's a mire, and then you subdivide based on pH of soil.
Right, okay, cool.
Yep.
And does the pH then... I imagine that the pH then probably changes what kinds of plants are in it.
That seems like a logical assumption. Also, while a bog is always nutrient poor, a fen may be nutrient poor or nutrient rich.
Is that why you get more bog bodies? Because the lack of nutrients means that there's not things to break down the bodies? I
am not sure.
I'm not
an ecologist.
Most of my understanding of wetlands comes from research about bog bodies. So
that's so predictable.
What? Oh gosh.
It's like the most GM statement you could possibly make. Most of my information about wetlands comes from bog bodies.
No, I haven't resurrected the bog bodies and asked them 3 questions to which they will answer this to the best of their ability.
I've been researching dead people again.
Ah, yes, of course.
I've been doing that for a different reason. I've been doing that for B.O.B. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi, chat. Welcome to I'm Not Trying to Kill You. This is the Splintering Wheel. And the Splintering Wheel / fun wetlands facts with Luke.
The Splintering Bog Wheel.
The Splintering Bog. Or the acidic... I don't know. I'm Ash. I'm your GM and host. I use she, her pronouns. We are playing the Splintering Wheel, which is a dungeon worldy type thing. I think it's at this point maybe a dungeon world hack. I'm not sure. It's a West Marches type game. So so that means that we have rotating casts. So I have with me today 4 amazing adventurers who I will get to introduce themselves and their characters and their pronouns and what they do, all that sort of jam. And we'll start with Anya. I haven't written Anya in the thing. That's weird. I wrote
Wow,
Ketas.
you haven't even written my name down.
Well, no, I wrote Ketas, and I usually don't write people's tags. I write their names. That's super weird.
Yes.
Hi, Anya.
I'm Anya. Or Keters, as someone already wrote down. I use she and they pronouns. And is there anything else I need to add?
Who's your character?
My character is Florent the Bard.
They have a name now. Amazing. Yes. Cool. What do they look like? What's their deal?
They have wild, voluminous hair tucked under a cap with little pointy ears sticking out. They're pretty tall. But lanky and kind of gangly. But they try and cover that up by wearing a large cloak.
Nice. Cool. Awesome. Alice, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I enjoyed Swamp Facts. I'm Alice, also known as Taffcat around the interwebs. I make games and stuff. I'll be doing like Band of Blades stuff here later, with like in the week or next week or something, which would be cool. I'm playing Mari. She's a druid. She's like probably you'd guess around like 14. She's like 5'4". Has like really messy, wild black hair. The first thing you probably notice about her, though, is that she smells like stagnant bog water and raw meat. And she has like reptilian eyes, most likely like an alligator, and she likes staring at people, making them uncomfortable because they don't really blink very often.
She's amazing.
So she smells slightly acidic then, because she smells of bog water.
I mean, yeah, but also the things that are broken down by the acid, so...
That's true.
She definitely smells a bit peaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a good whiskey. Apparently...
I'm
not a whiskey drinker. John Harper, if you're in chat, please educate us.
Cammy, save us. How are you going?
I'm doing okay. I'm Cammy. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm playing Henri, who is a frog. But also a necromancer.
Best character introduction ever.
You hop inside the rib cages of skeletons and then reanimate them and use them when you need hands.
Drive them around like a Zordon.
Yes.
I'm a fan. Excellent. And keeper of the wetlands facts, Luke. Hi.
Hello, I'm Luke. I'm still feeling slightly inexplicably dizzy and have been for the last few minutes. Everything's fine. My pronouns are they, them. If the dizziness becomes a concern, I will let you know. I'm a game designer. My character is called Chara. The playbook I am using is called The Would-Be Hero. And Chara is a child trying to grow up too fast. They are brave to the point of recklessness and filled with curiosity. They see things others overlook. They leave Beta to know the world and to drink deep of life.
Yes, excellent. So
they're like 13.
I love the fact that we got some kidlins that are going to go out into the horrible world that we have here. It's gonna
it'll be fine.
It's into the amazing world.
So yeah, let's do the thing. So yeah, Beta is a town that is mostly ruins, partly mostly ruins, partly inhabited in like small pockets, where people like hold up their roofs with like big sticks and things like that. The forest and jungle and overgrowth continually encroaches upon it, and the people of the town are trying to like build up from like cottage industry where people like, you know, make some stuff in their houses to like maybe having things in their house, in their town maybe. There aren't really roads between Beta and other nearby settlements, in as much as when there is a road, it gets overgrown and something else emerges, and then maybe you might end up somewhere you didn't expect. But it's, at least we know there are other towns out there. But given that we're like zooming in on a town where at least one character has been here before, this is a very strange question to find myself asking. Henri, the necromancer frog, have you been lending a hand around town?
First, we need to establish how big of a frog Henri is, and whether or not she can communicate with humanoids as a frog.
Druids, maybe.
I was thinking
I feel like you've
about
got to
the
be
size of a cat.
Yeah, I feel like
that's a pretty big frog.
That's pretty big. I feel like the size of like like maybe a kitten or like a small dog, right? Like the size of Bella, right? Like the size of Blue Jay's dog. I feel like there's but I mean.
What what just happened? I was looking away. What did I miss? What happened?
There was a puppy.
What? I missed the puppy. Oh,
Her name's Ginger.
what a good doggo.
Oh fuck. Yeah. I think it's going to be if you're playing Henri as a character, I think she needs to be able to communicate with other characters.
It's just she sounds a bit croaky.
Yes. Yes.
So she's had 2 weeks of doing things?
You have one every time that you come back. You have one opportunity to make the move.
Right. Well, I don't think I've been lending a hand because I leveled up after last game because there was quite a lot of failure, and I took the assistant move, which lets me make like a homunculus butt out of corpses.
That's cool. All right. So
So
yeah,
if we're talking about Fullmetal Alchemist, just a homunculus, right? I'm sorry, obscure pop culture joke.
Onisa.
Not really obscure, but I got...
No, that was Brother Dog.
Brother Dog is Brother Dog is a sad story. Like that made me sad.
You didn't hear the backstory.
I know, right? Yeah. Gosh. I mean,
So
yeah.
you craft a special assistant out of the skin and bones of a corpse. It has 5 load and 1 HP. It doesn't specify how big it is. It's just not very good. But also,
I think it depends on the corpse, right?
well, because she hangs out in the mortuary, the graveyard area, I think she would have just grabbed random bits and pieces from leftover people.
So then it's like medium person sized, right? Like
Yes, but importantly, she caught a large catfish last time she was at the swamp, and put it in her magic jar. And so the large catfish constitutes the upper spine and head of this assistant corpse.
Oh, that's pleasant.
And then I can put the frog in the mouth of the catfish with like sticks holding the mouth open.
Oh,
And walk
great.
around like that.
Uh-huh.
So that's what she's been doing.
I mean, considering the fact that as a frog you probably have a load of like 3
So yeah.
between you and you probably have 8 between you and your assistant. Okay.
So that's
Alright.
what she's been doing. Not helping the town.
Not helping the town. That's probably for the best because Fortunes is -2 at the moment. So like things could only really you might bring the curse back upon the apothecary. So let's move on to
Hold up, I broke that curse by successfully making a roll on the apothecary.
that's
This is over now.
possibly true. So then yeah, fuck. Does anyone this morning want to do any searching? A, does anyone want to do any searching for rumors? And B, does any do we want to look at the existing rumors in the journal?
Existing rumors sound neat.
I will summarize the rumors if I may.
I do want to point out 2 things about searching for rumors that need to be pointed out. 1, you can help each other on searching for rumors, and 2, you can say, "Hey, I'm searching for rumors, and in the fiction, I'm chasing the lead of an existing rumor."
Sure.
So yeah, but yeah, do you want to read for us, Luke?
All right, here we go. Who's ready for Luke's rumor catch-up? So, as always, there's probably trouble with the Titans somewhere. It's just life. Lizard folk in an automobile. Apparently something about that has changed recently, but I haven't been filled in. Some folk were visited by a man who said he was an ancient king, and he left ash upon the earth as though he were made of half-burned incense, and we guess something related. There's a coffin that was brought back to town. That was a whole thing. There was a gem rhino, but that's been dealt with. There's the bone zone. The course of an ancient river shifted, and there's a battlefield underneath, and there's bones and stuff. By the Well of Eels, there is a man who wears a shell like a tortoise and offers the true wisdom you need in return for food. There was a magic tree. It's not magic anymore. An ogre walked past town carrying an alive goat and a wheelbarrow. Something about swamp wizards and a lady and a guy who's a giant, and someone in town keeps guinea pigs, and during the night there was a screeching sound and some rattling, and then some guinea pigs were gone, and there was just a feather. There's a chasm on the way to the Bone Zone with a path down, and there's sad elf statues and doors in the sides, and like 1,010,000 Nodcap coins, and also maybe some dying Nodcaps who are learning about mortality and the passage of time. Some adventurers saw the power of friendship and generosity turn an iron lantern into gold. And then some old folk built a weird, but not creepy, apparently, church outside of town where they recently buried someone who died of some kind of skin coming off you illness, in Ash's words.
Their skin came off them and they died.
Were those
It's
things
an app
related?
description.
It wasn't explained well.
Yeah, right? Like, I'm curious, is that correlation? Is there causation? Like, what's the relationship between these two facts?
Why did it necessitate a new church?
That's
Yeah,
also
like
a
all
good
of the, like
question.
a whole bunch of the old folks in this have banded together to like wander out into the wander some way away from town to build this weird. They keep saying that they're building a church.
I mean, I don't know about everyone, but I'm always interested in finding a Bone Zone. So you know, we can do that.
We could go to the Bone Zone.
Yeah.
I thought the ancient elvish statues on the way to the Bone Zone sounded quite interesting.
Yeah. Cool.
We could do both. We could like go and see what we can see about the sad statues and the doors, and then if we have time, we could go to the Bone Zone.
These are things I'm cool with.
Yeah, and if you want to try and get information about those rumors or try and find new rumors, that's also a thing you can do. But there is the risk that you will find out things about things being worse than they were before you tried to find out rumors.
I mean, I'm cool just wandering and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then everything being awful.
I'm a child. I don't know things about rumors.
Sure. Yeah. So does anyone want to make a rumor check before we head out?
I would like to make a rumor check.
Cool. Awesome. So you're rolling plus charisma for that one. You can have a +1 on that if you spend a coin.
I do not have any of those.
You do not have any of those. Okay, so then you're just rolling charisma. Is anyone helping you while you go around town looking for rumors? Are you looking for rumors about the Bone Zone or the statues specifically, or just in general?
About the statues and the doors.
Okay, cool.
Probably more specifically about the doors.
Anya, can you describe your character to me? Because I'm curious. What do we see?
I already described, Luke.
Yeah.
I was dizzy. Okay, I missed a bunch.
Yeah. So my character is quite tall and a bit lanky and awkward seeming in their proportions, but they try and cover that up with a large cloak, like an oversized cloak, traveling cloak that they keep over them at all times, which is like quite warm and dusty. And then they have a big mess of hair that they try and have contained in a cap, with pointed ears sticking out of the hair.
You sound cool and mysterious, so I want to help you with rumors.
Okay.
Cool.
By telling you all the rumors what I know.
So, I love that. That's so cute. So the way that
I
works,
assume that's like
the way that works, Anya, is that you get to re-roll one of your dice.
Okay.
After the check, if you want to.
There's a man in town and he grows pumpkins on his roof, but he's an idiot. He ate a guy's chicken once. Without even asking.
very good rumors to know.
So yeah.
He smells like chicken.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure. So yeah, let's see your charisma check. Cool. So that's a 7. So that's a 7, which will get you a partial success. But you could re-roll the 1 if you wanted to.
I am definitely gonna reroll that one.
Can't be any worse.
Oop. No, 1d6.
Nice. That brings us up to a 10. Awesome. I'll give you something substantial about.
I know all the best rumors.
That brings us up to a 12.
I think the person that was heard about in yesterday's session, which Luke probably doesn't have notes for, but let me.
Andy has just linked me some.
Yeah, cool. So the person that there was a person that was talked about as having spied on some on like Henri and co when they returned from the swamp with Henri as a frog. And I think the way that he is described is very similar in like the clothing and like hairstyle and things. Is very similar in description to the descriptions you've heard of these statues. And I think someone else mentioned the fact that he seemed to have a cart with him that he was carrying around, but he's never come into the town, but I think he's been seen a couple of times around the edge of town. He is what do we have as the existing description for him? Anything? No. He's got high cheekbones, a very square, pointy chinned face, pointed ears, and like hair in a top knot. Well, not a top knot because it's not a knot. It's like the one where it's like goes up into a thing and then flows into like a flumph and then like flows down in a ponytail from there. And yeah, and like silk robes with like is it lapels that come up into like big broad shoulders. And as far as anyone can tell, he walks silently, but his cart squeaks a little bit as he like pushes it along in front of him. And I think the cart is like lacquered. So yeah, he's been seen around town usually when people return to town with like riches and spoils. But yeah.
Fucking lacquered, mate.
So yeah, that's probably I think you piece that together from like a bunch of different sources as people talk about having seen this weird dude around town a little bit. Yeah. I think one person mentions the fact that like they've seen him a couple of times, and like the later time the cart had been like slightly damaged. It had like scratches on it. But yeah, that's probably what you learn from your finding out.
Does this description match the bog wizard that cursed Henri?
No, not at all. No. This person has probably like a kind of like the bog wizard had much darker skin than the description of this guy, who has somewhere between like light and tan skin.
All right, everyone. To update you,
not pink, right? Like, yeah.
To update you all, the lizard folk in an automobile rumor has been clarified. There's a giant automobile city, and it's filled with people with the faces of crocodiles. And they have dirt bikes.
Oh yeah, there are 2 dirt bikes in town now.
Crocodile people, or people that have harvested the faces of crocodiles?
I wasn't there.
My kind of people.
The exact wording is croc. They are deeply dehydrated, croc-faced people. That's all I've got.
So, if we're not searching for any further rumors, we need to decide where we're going and head out into the wilds.
Elfie statue-y thing?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Who's leading the expedition?
Sure, I'll do it.
I will put a vote in. Someone with high int would be a good idea because we have an app to that place.
Do we?
Oh,
Awesome.
never mind then.
I think that disqualifies me as well, actually.
I
If
have 13 int.
if you need someone wise, or can bite something in half, maybe.
Henri can do it.
Henri is going to lead the party in.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love it. Henri, how much? So, we have a map, which means that you get to roll plus int. Do you? Blah, 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 blah. Have you been there before?
No.
Cool. Do you have folklore and do you have hearsay and whatnot to guide you?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
so
in the rumors.
you have +1 on top of your intelligence check. So yeah, what does it look like as you'll head out? Because I feel
How
like
much progress will we need?
sorry, yes, you will need.
From memory, it was 1 last time.
Yes, it is one. It is one progress needed to get to the elf statues.
So, Henri has propped open the catfish mouth and is sitting inside of it. And the, small old man, it's the size of, a hunched over old man, is, holding the map out in front of them and, kind of frog marching, very
Like
what's it
goose
called?
stepping?
Goose stepping, that's the one.
That's what I
Where
thought.
it's very decidedly putting each foot in front of the other,
Yeah,
and Henri has to tell it where to go.
yeah, I love it. Is anyone helping, or are you leading on your own?
I am absolutely helping.
Excellent.
I'm staring at the catfish, licking my lips slightly.
I am right next to this weird, horrific, undead monstrosity, if not slightly ahead of it, running forward and being like, "There's a thing over there. I found that big tree. It was on the map. I am helpful."
So, Cammy, if you want to, you can reroll one of your dice. That's up to you.
Why?
Because you're being helped. That's how helping works now.
Oh, okay.
That will get you up to a 10 plus, which means that you manage. Which means that you passed the the big tree with its withering withering brambles and things. They've gone like some of them are now red and some of them are black. As if they were always, as if they'd never been browny green. They've become like drying blood, as they wither away. And you find the path to this chasm where there used to be a bridge. There isn't anymore. But there is. I think there's there's a little bit of path beaten along the edge of the chasm towards the end of it, and so you have to kind of get either get your frog friend or your child friend to bother away the bushes and trees and vines and things so that you can make your way to the end of the chasm. And standing there, there are, one of them is standing. There are two statues of ancient elven folks One is standing proud. I think he has a spear. Did we say he had a spear? I think he has a spear. And the other and like standing proud in the like hazy morning light, and the other has like broken at the like shins and has like fallen over onto a tree so that they're at like a 45-degree angle. Yep. Spear. Cool. And the two of them stand at the end of this chasm where there's like a scree slope down into the chasm itself. It's a long way down. But like, if you were willing to like surf it or try and like pick your way down the scree slope, that is how you would. That would be probably your easiest method had you not like a rope and climbing gear for like 500 feet of like descent. It's a long way down. The chasm is like quite wide at its wider parts, but some points it like narrows, which is where that bridge was.
So I get here first because I'm this is one of my like running slightly ahead from Henri bits. Like,
do you yell first?
Hmm?
Do you yell, "I got here first"?
No. It's not what adventuring's about.
They're not 8.
I'm not 8.
Sorry.
Come on, I'm not 12. Come on. And so I like look around with like big wide eyes, like, oh my god, statues, elves, spears, rocks. It's a lot. And then, because I'm very curious, I go over and I like poke the statue. I like look at the rock and I like rub a bit of moss off and I like maybe lick it a little to like see what kind of rock it is because it reacts different. I know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go over to the fallen one and I like look and see what made it fall. And then I go over and I pick up a stick and I like poke the scree a little to see like just how unstable it is. And I would like to discern reality.
I would like you to discern reality. Thank you.
Also, I would like to describe my character for the first time.
Yeah, let's hear a description.
Yeah, so my character, Chara, is like 13 years old. So they're like a kid. They're like maybe... God, this is a bit weird. Describing child. I'm just trying to think. I know a bunch of children. Like, they couldn't be any taller than like... They couldn't be any taller than like 3'10". Like, they're short for a 13-year-old. And like a little bit plump. They've got like curly dark hair, like not necessarily very long, but like really like kind of like nice looking. It looks like it'd be really good to ruffle. They're really androgynous looking, and the playbook look descriptions I made are young and beautiful, questioning eyes, earnest voice, stout and sturdy, and head held high.
Aw, I like
Yep.
that kid.
That's my kid.
Do you want to roll for the discerning of realities?
Yeah, I do. I want to discern some realities. A thing I'm kind of good at.
Yeah, you get a question.
I would like to ask... what here is useful or valuable to me?
That's such an interesting question for this character. I
I
like that
I'm like-
question because it gives the GM the power to say what is like valuable to a person,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I get to make a character decision about you to a certain degree.
Yeah, I'm like... it specifically is within the frame of like... mainly the question of how to get down. Because
Yeah,
Chara
right.
is very determined that like... we gotta go down there.
Yeah, right. In which case, I think you would notice that while the one that is fallen is like, I think you can rock it back and forth a little. And if you put some effort in, you could probably topple it further. But the one that is not fallen, I think you notice that the bases are actually like, if not sunk into the like stone underfoot, like a foundation, they might even be carved out of the stone that was here. Like the bases are very, very sturdy. And like, I think you're having trouble, and you're like, this is a different rock here than it is from here, right? But at the same time, you can't find the dividing line between the two stones.
That's cool. And so I think when the others like come around, I'm gonna spend the use of my shabby adventuring gear. Like Chara is already like 3 steps ahead and is like tying a little like rope thing around the bottom of the statue. Like, yeah, and then we're gonna rappel down. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, Chara's doing that. I think like when Mari gets to the like chasm, she's like, "I'll scout out ahead," and then she just takes a step and like kind of turns around and like winks at like the other kid, and then just drops. I'm gonna like turn into a bird mid-fall.
I better roll wisdom and hope you don't get 6 minus.
Yeah, well, 6 minus. I still hold 1. I still turn into a bird.
Yeah, but
like,
I get put a butt on the end. So
I'm
Just a
okay with that.
just a distracted bird.
yeah,
I'm okay with this. I got an 11.
excellent, cool. So what kind of bird do you turn into?
I think it's like, she like, everyone like, I don't know how people react, but she like soars back up, and like you can see her eyes for a second, and like it's still those like alligator reptilian eyes that like blink sideways. I think it's like a hawk of some description. And like she just starts soaring around and is just gonna like loop down and look at things.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think that hawks can snatch things from the air. I think that hawks can soar and dive with great speed, and I think that hawks can
See real good?
see things from a great distance, see detail from great distance. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm okay with all these things.
Great. Awesome. Cool. So yeah, you're gonna like soar down into the chasm.
Yeah, essentially my goal is to soar ahead, see if there's any problems that we might run into, and if so, warn the others ahead of time.
Cool. I think that do you want to roll discern realities? Because it sounds like you're doing that.
Sure. Which roll is that again?
That's wisdom.
Wisdom, cool. Bonuses to Hawkeye stuff?
So the way that this works is that like the Hawkeye thing is you can spend a hold to see something in detail from great distance, right? To do that thing.
Okay.
But it won't give you a direct bonus on.
I understand.
Because discerning realities is more about your ability to grok things anyway than it is about like spotting specific things.
Okay. Let's do that. That is a 6.
I'm trying to work out if you're being helped by anyone, but I don't think you are.
I don't think it's possible for anyone to help me.
I don't think so.
Otherwise I must.
Yeah, I think what happens is that you are like, this is like at the base, at like once you get a little way into it, it's quite a wide wide chasm, but it's incredibly deep. It's like I think the one thing that you do notice as far as like obvious problems people are going to come across is that like a standard kind of like a standard rope that you would have in an adventurer's pack is like nowhere near long enough to get you all the way down. In that, like, you normally carry, like, 50 to 100 feet, and this is, like, 5 times that. But as you're, like, making your way down to try and, like, see what you, like, what's at the base, I think there's, like, a bit of, like, rock or something that is like, jutting out from the side, like, halfway down or whatever, and you just clip your wing on it, and you tumble like to the actual like floor of the chasm. And I think I'm not gonna make you take damage, but I think you're gonna like you're gonna have a penalty to like flying for a little bit, because like your wing took a bit of a blow there.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel like that's kind of where it's at. Like if you'd like strained your shoulder,
Sure. I guess if I were to spend a hold to fly very quickly,
Then you
how
could
would that...
definitely avoid that trouble.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then,
that's how that works.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, you are about to clip it, and then you spend your hold to soar or like plummet at great speed, and then
I think she sees whatever's about to clip her wing, and she just like dive bombs past it, and then soars back up.
Yeah. Cool. I think you've spotted, like once you're up quite high in the air and you can see like further, you spot like the twinkling of some of the coins at the bottom of the chasm as well.
Awesome, thank you.
You know how small things don't get damaged when, like, so if you drop an ant from the upper atmosphere, it will hit the ground and not be bothered because that's just how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got an idea, but I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't think dropping a cat-sized thing 500 feet is going to end well.
I mean, if you trust me, I can carry you down.
I don't trust you. You're a frog, and I'm a hawk.
Well, reverse that.
What about this 45-degree statue? What if we, like, skidoo down the... How heavy are these things?
I feel like your like helper is likely to wreck, like damage themselves if they were trying to move it. But if everyone were to try and like move it together, they could probably do that. You could definitely like roll it to topple it onto the ground from where it is.
Is the standing one near the slope?
They're both on either side of like let me get us a quick drawing.
I'm thinking if we pull the standing one onto the slope and then I'll jump on it and then surf it down the slope because we're cool like that.
So we've got like the chasm, and then the slope is like down this way. And then we have at the base, we have the one that is standing. This is not very good scale. This is to indicate like position.
It's a conceptual map.
Exactly.
So it's like the cavern. I'm confused by this.
This is top down. So
yeah. But like if we were to have a floor of the cavern.
Yeah. So the cavern floor is like this direction, right? Like the scree slope goes quite a long way because it's such a deep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. I was imagining it steeper.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The scree slope is probably like is like the point. It's that thing of like the rocks and gravel and things have like reached their natural incline.
Yeah.
So do we want to try pulling over a statue, or do we want to rescue that tree from under the other one, or any other suggestions?
I see would-be hero thinking.
Yeah, okay, so first I have a question. Ash, would you describe these statues as beautiful?
Yes.
Cool. I have a move about that.
Okay.
I would like to draw everyone's attention to item the despoiling of beauty and innocence, which I feel like we are witnessing in this broken statue. So I'm a whole two rage.
Okay, so I need to see this in fiction.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, like I think what we see is like Chara's got the rope tied, is waiting for everyone else to like do right, like, because they can see that like someone turned into a bird, which is very cool. And someone else is like looking around and is like, okay, so like I'm gonna let them do their thing. I'm not gonna just immediately go down on the rope. And it's just like has wandered over and is just like looking down at this statue with like a kind of like really sad expression, and like kind of kneels, like goes down to like their knees and like reaches out and like touches his face. And this like sad expression shifts slightly to take on this edge of like regret, yes, but also like an not even an anger, but like a resentment that this has happened. Right? Like this is not the way things should be. And also like I think they say
not
like
fair, you know.
Yeah, it's not fair. And it's also not fair to like his husband. Right? Like not on. And so they're just like, they're a little huffy, and like their shoulders, their chests all puffed out, they're like, And yeah, so I'm just gonna make a note that I'm holding to, so I don't forget later. And then God, because this character is a real fool. Yeah, I think they're just like, alright, come on everyone, and just like start like climbing like hand over hand down the rope. Until they get to the bottom of the rope, and then they're just gonna like let go and just slide the rest of the way down.
Alright.
Down the slope?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no!
We'll see what happens. I mean, look, everyone. I have a move that says when you are rescued from danger by another PC, mark XP. Okay, so like, I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
You bloody min-maxer. You're just going for that level 10.
Yeah.
I am going to instruct the construct to just goose step with very heavy footsteps down the slope. So like planting each foot firmly in the ground. And I would like to defy danger with Constitution in that way.
Cool. I'm curious, what's Florent doing? Because this might be a struggle as one.
Yeah, I think that as Florent sees the other two just like start down the slope, I think they just like look at the rope that's tied, and then look where it just like ends like 30 feet later, and then just starts clambering down after them.
Cool. That sounds like yeah. So that sounds like we're all working together. So where am I? Move together.
We're not, because
I was about
Harry is a bird.
Since I'm not part of the group, can I assist one of them?
The way this works is that these three are doing the move together move. So yeah, I suppose everyone in the rules text refers to like everyone
involved.
Yeah. So each describe how you approach the the task and roll stat. So that's sorry. What was the question?
I was asking if I could aid one specific person while they are doing that, like aid another.
I think that's reasonable.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
On one of the checks. So Kemi is rolling plus con, and it sounded like Kara was rolling plus dex.
Yeah, like my advantage here.
Yeah.
Well, not even that, but like my advantage here is just that like I'm like a small.
Yeah.
I'm a smaller than average creature.
Yep.
And yeah, so like I'm light-footed. and I don't weigh an awful lot, and so I'm just like finding the biggest, sturdiest bits of scree and just like getting down on them.
Yep, cool. And Florent, what kind of approach are you taking to?
I think Florent is like trying to get down as fast as possible because they don't trust that Chara isn't just gonna hurt themselves.
Offended.
But they're still like picking their footing pretty carefully.
Yeah, that sounds like either Dex or Intelligence.
I was thinking Dex.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. Yeah, and I will let Mari choose who they want to help after the fact.
Before or after the roll. Oh,
Yeah.
Cool. Neat. Awesome.
Ash, a question.
Yes.
Does small but fierce apply to move together as well as defy danger?
What does small but fierce do?
When you defy danger and use your small size to your advantage, take +1.
Yes.
Cool.
Because I think that move together is
Like kind of a related. Yeah.
it's basically just a group defy danger most of the time.
Cool.
Cool. All right. So yeah, everyone needs to roll their state. Nice. Oh no.
Well,
but yeah, the other two are successful, so they can actually save. So yeah.
I'll also I'll give her the aid too to see if she needs it or they need it.
Yeah. Do you want to re-roll that one, Anya, or like the others can also save you by default?
Yeah, I guess.
Well,
I mean, if I'm getting the 8, then I'll re-roll the 1.
I think here's the question. Like for Florent, how do you fuck up? Like, what does it look like, and who saves you, and what does that look like?
I mean, I think it's that Florent is like really worried about Chara, and just goes too fast, and then like probably ends up skidding into Chara.
I will
because Chara's like sturdy, just like gets stopped on them.
Yeah, nice, cool. Yeah, because Chara has been doing a better job of like picking the bigger bits of scree to pick. So yeah, you make your way down to the base as a group, and yeah, down here, whatever like hazy gray light was, it's it's like kind of channeled down into a thin daylight strip, but like not much. It's pretty shadowy down at this level. You like look up and you get this kind of weird reverse vertigo, like looking all the way up to the sky, and like the like bits of leaves and trees that are like that hang out over the chasm just kind of don't make sense in their smallness in the distance. And you're like, what are those shapes up there? But down here, there is the like, I was going to describe the smell as dolomite. Does that make sense as a smell to people? No? It's a gravelly smell, very earthy, very, very like metally, stony smell. And yeah, everything has this kind of like slightly desiccated because everything's slightly like dusty and gritty. I'm doing all like this with my hands of like the gritty, like it not oily or wet, so like dry and coarse.
I mean, I imagine it's like that smell when you're hiking and then you slip and you kick up a bunch of shale.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like gravel and shale and dirt.
Yeah. That sort of smell is like really prevalent down here. But yeah, you can see there's you're at the point where like the chasm probably originally continued down into like into a very, very like pointy thing, but all of this scree that has fallen in has created a sort of like false bottom to what was once probably even deeper. It's not. I think it's warmer down here than it is up top. It's not cold like you expected. It's a kind of weird dry heat. But as you like crunch along through the chasm, yeah. I think you can feel like a bit of the heat radiating from below. But yeah, I'm assuming that we all just continue like walking down the chasm until we find lots of gold.
I have a thing I'd like to do first.
Yeah.
Which is I'm still like bristly, a little like a pull, right? Like my shoulders, my body language is all still like big and huffy and like a little bit grumpy. And I go over to Florent and like reach out and like reach up and like jab them in the chest with one tiny little finger. And I'm like, look, grown up. I'm small. I get it. You think I'm a kid and I can't do anything. But I can take care of myself. You're not my parent. It's not your job to look after me. Looks like it's my job to look after you. And I just turn around and I like storm off, leading the party down the rest of the chasm.
Yeah, I think like it's definitely like after you've turned away, but I think like Florent just kind of looks confused and just says, "Wait, Char, are you not a kid?"
Whatever the sound of a hawk laughing sounds like, this is it.
I mean, they like hawks do a.
That one.
Yeah.
Just chuckling to herself, flying overhead.
Yeah. So by the time you get to the, I feel like it's not long before both Henri and her helper, I wanted to use the word manservant, but like that's not really appropriate.
Manfish servant.
Manfish servant. Like they are very quickly, more than the others, like just covered in this grayness, right? Because they're both like creatures that, and like
They're damp.
Yeah, they're dampish creatures, and Henri, as like you're very quickly feeling very, very short of breath because you've got this dust all over you. And so like, you know, like Chara like tramps ahead and the others are like going on, and like you had been like semi at the start of the party, but like both I think your manfish servant is like your river valet is like kind of is because they are also like part fish, like they're taking on some of your like the frog equivalent of asthma.
Phrasma,
yes.
A croakiness, one might say.
Yeah. Do you want to just like power through that, or like?
Yes, because I have 18 Constitution.
All right, better roll a Constitution check. So the problem here is that like you might end up taking a debility on a failure.
I'm just trying to think of other solutions, like climbing in one of her canopic jars.
Having the catfish close its mouth and just like let it walk for you without you being able to see for a little bit.
Just poke out the eye of the catfish from the backside.
I mean, they have noses.
I mean that too, but
I think that's a good solution. Is close the mouth of the catfish and just tell it to follow that belligerent child.
All right, cool. Yeah, so you're gonna be like having if you're peeking out the nose of the catfish, then you're gonna be having like you're gonna be less observant or whatever. Like you can't see as clearly, but yeah, you can definitely like a question about zombie. Do zombies produce saliva?
This one does, because Horu made it.
Okay, all right. So that's gonna be the thing that's gonna refresh you as you like get walked along. Cool. I'm glad we sorted that out.
Gross.
Yeah. So I think you power along until you find something like interesting. Is that like so I think you.
And when I find it, I get my staff. It's a stick I found, but on the end it has a little iron bit for hitting people. And when I find the thing, I poke it.
Okay, so there is a like,
I'm a child.
Deeply wizened nodcap, right? Like their skin is like wrinkled and like drooping off, and like you can see them. They're like and down here they're covered in this this gritty grey dust, and they're like kind of like crawling towards the light of the like scree slope the way that you came, and just pulling themselves along the ground. I think it's pretty obvious that like they have some kind of like major leg injury. But but like they look like they're 1,000 years old, and not wearing it well.
You're really old.
It looks up at you and like, have we established that they speak in a language that anyone understands? Because
I mean, Little Lonely Badger could understand them, but that's because Little Lonely Badger has the weird spirit bullshit.
Yeah, that's a different thing. Yeah, in which case it like looks up at you and like, I think it kind of just makes a and like tries to grab a hold of your stick, right? Like it grabs a hold of it with like, I think it takes 2 hands for it to hold the whole stick. And it's like, and like, haha, now I've got the stick, you'll have to carry me somewhere.
I think Chara like,
Anya, you had your hand up?
I just didn't know what a nodcap was.
Sorry, let's jump back. Sorry. Nodcaps. They are little 8-inch tall, like 6 to 8 inches tall. They're little like fairy folk sort of things. They wear big conical hats that come down to like over their to like halfway down their face, of like of like canvas sort of, and also like a shift of the same material. They have big hands and feet, and big eyes and ears under their hats, but like the hats tend to like cover them.
Comparable to a red cap?
Yeah, if you know is it Little Lonely Nightmares? Little.
I was thinking like Noddy from the kids show.
Yeah. Sort of
Little Nightmares or Little Fears?
Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares. Little Fears is a different game.
The gnomes in that are pretty similar.
Okay. No, I totally know what you were talking about now.
Yeah.
Question. This language it's speaking isn't something a druid would know or care about, correct?
If it's not a animal type language.
Okay.
It is a fey type language.
Would a nodcap fall under an unusual creature?
Yes.
Because I have bardic lore about unusual creatures.
Do you wanna? So, do you get to ask me a question, or do I have to tell you something interesting?
I believe it's tell me something interesting. Let me see. I get to ask any question about it.
Ask me any question about it.
And so I think Chara has like turned around and is like with like hands under its like little armpits, and is just like holding it out kind of like a potato or a sack of flour. Like for someone, like, what do I do with it?
Yeah, and I think like Florent walks up and doesn't like take it from you, but just like sits down cross-legged, and like looks at it for a little while. And what's a question that is important? I guess what brought the Nodcap here? Is that a question I can ask?
I'll let you ask the players what they know about Nodcaps collectively first.
Okay.
I mean, I know exactly what brought the Nodcap.
Like, because it's assumed that everyone is a part of a common adventuring community and that they talk about things. So, like, Luke, is there anything that you want to fill people in on about Nodcaps?
Yeah. So let's zoom back, like a week of in-game time or something. A group of people set off for, I think we were going to the Bone Zone. I don't actually remember. We got very sidetracked. And we got to the bridge that used to stretch across this chasm and let us cross it, that would hit you with lightning if you went on it. And a bunch of Nodcaps had set up like a little barricade across the bridge. And they wanted... It was unclear. Maybe they were highwaymen. They threw a bunch of tiny little spears. It was all very distressing. Anyway, one of my other characters has an ability that basically like anti-magic zones things, and used it on the Nodcaps. And Nodcaps are immortal by technicality because their magic lets them fuck around with time. And so this spell basically was just like, okay, none of that works anymore. And now you're all, however old you really are, enjoy mortality. And so, and also the bridge collapsed and it fell in and there was a lot of coins everywhere. Anyway, that's how the Nodcaps got down here. And that's why they're really old now.
So that's what you know from rumors in town.
They also previously had a big tree full of trash that they lured children to and fed them trash, but the children, because of the magic, thought it was lollies and stuff.
Yes, and the reason that it wasn't until that was wrecked that the fortress on the bridge got built. So really, this is all player characters' faults. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
It's my fault twice over.
Yes.
Yes.
But yes, so like you kind of know that it fell here, and became old because of like what those other player characters did. So like, I don't want to rob you of a question.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to ask now.
You could ask like how a Nodcap could regain its magic or whatever.
How about we take a break and you can think about your question as you're like, as we've got Chara like holding this thing and like Henri's like fish friend like goose stepping up from behind, looking slightly out of breath, and like yeah like.
It's a zombie. Like, it doesn't need to breathe.
No, but it's your out of breathness that's translating. Right, and Florence like puzzling it and being like, I've heard about these things, and we can come back in 5 minutes, and we'll see kind of like where we go from there. All right, back shortly.